Jen, everyone, welcome to the Joe Squad. Today we'll be talking about a few important complications that have happened recently with regard to the Israel-Hamas conflict. And if you're going into SSB in the next couple of months, or if you've cleared CDS, this is definite CDS written. This is definitely something that will be asked. So you better know this for your either lecturate or your GD. This is very, very important, and this is good for your general knowledge also. So let's move on. See on the screen. This has happened uh, day before yesterday. Iran fires missiles at Israel, warns against retaliation. Those of you, I'm sure most of you have been knowing what is going on. मोटा मोटा तुम लोगों को पता होगा क्या चल रहा है. But the thing is that it didn't have this many complications with regard to one-on-one standoffs between two countries. This is the first time Iran has actually done something against Israel, like samne samne. They fired missiles. So this is a very big step, and now it is most likely called a war. Pehle it was just a conflict. Nobody had, classified this into the war wala scenario, but now it is leaning towards that. Again, officially हमें बाद में पता ही चल जाएगा. But as of now, it is not just a war. It is just still a conflict, but it is moving towards the war-like scenario. Let's see what happened. Now it is proper Iran versus Israel. Pehle it was Israel versus Hezbollah. Then beach mein Hezbollah leaders got shot, got uh, bombed by Israel through airstrikes. So now it is proper one-on-one between Iran and Israel. Let's read. Iran fired a salvo of ballistic missiles at Israel on Tuesday in retaliation for Israel's campaign against Tehran's Hezbollah allies in Lebanon. Alarms sounded across Israel and explosions could be heard in Jerusalem and the Jordan River Valley after Israelis piled into bomb shelters. Reporters on state television lay flat on the ground during live broadcasts. Reuters journalists saw missiles intercepted in the airspace of neighboring Jordan. Israeli military said Iran fired around 180 missiles. IDF systems have identified approximately 180 missiles fired towards Israeli territory from Iran, it said. Earlier, the military had announced that any ballistic missile strike from Iran was expected to be widespread and told the public to shelter in safe rooms in the event of an attack. So basically, what had happened is, according to the IDF, 180 missiles had been sent towards uh, Israel and its neighboring territories. And it was supposed to be widespread. ऐसे नहीं कि 180 मिसाइल एक ही सिटी में भेज दी है. They were widespread across the area of Israel of Israeli territory. So this is basically what had happened on Tuesday. Now, before we move further, this map is basically sort of like a history जो तुम्हें पता होनी चाहिए. What, how it happened, and कैसे क्या हुआ. ठीक है, मोटा मोटा तुम्हें पता होना चाहिए. So we'll start with 1946. 1946, the this entire area as the in the blue region, this was a British colony. ठीक है, although Palestine, Egypt, they don't, and Israel, they don't come under the Commonwealth of Nations, but it was a British colony till 1946. 1946 के बाद फिर like India, and basically every British colony, धीरे धीरे they started fighting back, seeing क्या क्या हो रहा है दुनिया में, and then बाद में Britishers को उन्होंने बोला जाओ तुम, go back to where you came from. Next, in 1949, as you can see, Israel had occupied most of the region, but the West Bank, which uh, which was occupied by Jordan, the yellow region. ठीक है, that is called the West Bank, and the red part, जो छोटी सी strip है, that is called the Gaza Strip. ठीक है, which was under the control of Egypt at that time. So after that time, 1967, Israel took hold of everything. ठीक है, but then उसके बाद Palestinians, who regarded themselves as Palestinians, a new nation was born. ठीक है, so basically what happened, what the historical context to this is, that Israel के लिए this is holy land, because this is they regard this as the birthplace of Judaism. ठीक है, but Palestinians were like, no, how can this be the birthplace of Judaism? We've been here much before you. So therefore the conflict started, ki on land, who does the Gaza Strip belong to, who does the West Bank belong to, Jerusalem, this, that, everything on the basis of religion. You know, as Palestinians are majority Muslims and Israelis are predominantly Jews. So it was basically more than country wise, it was basically religion versus religion, Muslims versus Jews on the basis of land. Okay, so that is the historic context to this conflict. बीच में then, as you can see in 1955 वाला area, that the green patches, then the Palestinian Authority grew, धीरे धीरे in certain patches where the people that were predominantly Palestinian उनका support लेके there are few areas in the middle of Israel. Okay, so that is why Israel also being a much larger country, much more powerful country, उन्होंने बोला ऐसे कैसे, है ना, तुम्हें ऐसे कैसे लेने देंगे. तो उसके बाद फिर conflict started and this has been going on since millennia. It is a conflict which is ages old. People have made this more about religion than anything else. Children have been killed, women have been killed, hundreds, thousands of people, ठीक है, in this conflict. अब तो और ज्यादा. So now in 2007, the last wala, now Hamas, which is basically regarded as a terrorist organization by the UN and the US, they had taken control over the Gaza Strip through, मतलब militants, ठीक है, basically through military power. Okay, बाकी everything else was under the Palestinian Authority, the green wala area. Okay, and then because of Hamas being regarded as Hamas and Hezbollah being regarded as terrorist organizations, Israel got the backing of many other countries like US, because US, as तुम्हें पता होगा, is the world's fighter against terrorism. हर जगह अपने soldiers भेज देते हैं, अफगानिस्तान, इधर उधर, इराक वगैरह वगैरह, just to try to find terrorists. So they got a lot of different backing from military backing, economic backing from countries like the US and EU. Let's move on. Israel-Hamas war. Since 2007, the Gaza Strip has been covered by Hamas, an Islamist militant group, while the West Bank remained under the control of the Fatah-led Palestinian Authority. After Hamas's takeover, Israel imposed a blockade of the Gaza Strip that significantly damaged its economy. Very easy to read. Basically, what happened was Gaza Strip को उन्होंने block किया, ठीक है, पूरा, because it was controlled by Hamas. So now they were like, no, अब तो we have authority to do anything we want to Gaza Strip. उन्होंने block किया. A lot of people died. People did not have food to eat. This Palestinians, it was crazy यार ये जो चल रहा है. Then an armed conflict between Israel and Hamas-led Palestinian group has been taking place in the Gaza Strip and Israel since 7th October 2023. Okay, this was basically when the entire thing started, the actual conflict started. पहले तो it was just धीरे Israel was trying to take over the land which it had previously lost. The war began when Hamas-led militant group launched a surprise attack on Israel on 7th October, which involved a rocket barrage and a few thousand militants breaching the Gaza-Israel barrier, attacking Israeli civilian communities and military bases. Okay, so this is basic. I'm pretty sure all of you must know क्या हुआ था 7th October को. So it's now almost been a year, so which is crazy, Okay, as you can see, the West Bank, the red wala, big wala part, Gaza Strip is the patla red part, and Israel is beach में. Okay, so as you can say, Jerusalem just comes under मतलब West Bank के बाहर ही है, but it's sort of like a peninsula, as you can say. Peninsula is the wrong word, sorry. Killing of Hamas chief in Iran. In response to the 2023 Hamas-led attack on Israel, Israel stated it would target Hamas leaders. On 31st July 2024, very recently, Ismail Haniyeh, the political leader of Hamas, was assassinated along with his personal bodyguard in the Iranian capital Tehran by an apparent Israeli attack. Haniyeh was killed in his accommodation in the military-run guest house after attending the inauguration ceremony for Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian. The New York Times, based on information provided by several Middle Eastern officials, included two Iranian and an American official, reported that Haniyeh was assassinated by a remotely detonated explosive device hidden in his room. Axios reported that the bomb was detonated by Mossad agents on Iranian soil. So basically, this is Iran, the difference of distance between Iran and Israel right now. You know, one more thing I like to tell you guys is because you should know what is happening in the Muslim world. Iran, a few big powerful countries like Iran, Turkey, they've self-proclaimed themselves as leaders of the Muslim world. And because pehle to yaar, it was just land, but then people politicized it on the basis of religion, Jews versus Muslims, and now because Israelis are, killing even not only Hamas, they're killing civilians, they're killing everyone, anything they see on site. Okay. And because of that, this, gross, misdeeds, iske wajah se the entire world is against Israel now. Not against Israel completely, but also against what they're doing, which isn't correct. And because of that, Iran has stepped in ki nahi, if you're hurting my fellow Muslims, then I will also hurt you. So basically, what is happening is Iran has stepped in as the leader of the Muslim world, and now it has not just become who takes control of the Gaza Strip. It has now become Muslims versus Jews. And because of that, it is now, this you can't say exactly in your SSB. Because of it, thoda, it becomes a very, controversial sa topic ban jata hai, ki how are you putting religion into this and that. So try to take a very unbiased opinion when you're going for your GD, when you're going for your lecturate. अगर ऐसा कुछ आता है, say कि यार, just say facts. What is happening. कि ऐसा ऐसा है, इतने इतने लोग मरे हैं, इसने इसको मारा है, इसने इसको मारा है, इसने इसको मारा है. ठीक है, that's it. You don't have to take sides. Never, ever, ever, ever. Biggest thing, never take sides in GD or lecturate because you can't. ठीक है, फौज में तुम्हें जो आदेश दिया जाता है वो तुम्हें करना हो. That's it. Israel attacks on Hezbollah, pager attacks. Israel has inflicted huge damage on Hezbollah in recent weeks, killing more than a dozen top commanders and apparently destroying thousands of weapons in airstrikes. It is also blamed for the exploding pager and walkie-talkie attacks that left thousands of Hezbollah members maimed, blinded, or killed. For Israel, Nasrallah's killing is a huge victory. In a defiant speech at the UN on Friday, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu uh, asserted that Israel was winning the war against enemies who wanted to destroy it. By then, he had authorized the strike that killed Nasrallah. Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah killed in airstrikes in Iran. Successful pager blasts in Lebanon against Hezbollah made Israel dominate over this conflict even more. US agreed with Israel in killing of militant group leaders. All of these, followed by other regular strikes on these groups, made Iran strike back. Basically what happened was there was a incident very recently where pagers and walkie-talkies के अंदर उन्होंने bomb लगा दिए थे that infiltrated into the equipment of Hezbollah and even normal civilians. Because pagers are being used by civilians also. So they had infiltrated their equipment, used that equipment for some while, and अचानक से the kill switch was activated and all of these all over Gaza बहुत लोग मरे थे, बहुत ज्यादा. ठीक है, so this was a very incident. People who were backing Israel were like good Hezbollah, because a lot of mostly Hezbollah militants were killed, but also it had also left lot of civilians. I can't remember the exact number, but a lot of civilians dead or maimed. ठीक है, तो and उसके वजह से a lot of people were also against Israel कि आप you are not looking towards the civilian cost, cost of life जो होती है, you're not looking towards that, you're not considering that. So there has been again controversy होती रहती है दोनों के बीच में. This you have to be aware of. ठीक है, I'm not telling you to take sides, but you have to be aware of what is going on and what the controversy is. Yeah, you can't be completely pro-Israel, neither can you be completely anti-Israel. So you have to take a very, balanced role, like India. Disputed issues in a nutshell: Iranian funding of Hamas and Hezbollah, Iranian nuclear program, very important. The nuclear program of Iran, with its potential to develop nuclear programs together with the anti-Israel rhetoric of the President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. I'm sorry, I must have killed the name completely. And his desire for the regime occupying Jerusalem to vanish from the pages of time. Roles of US and Russia, international powers. Okay, these are the three topics I want you to go abhi and research about. ठीक है, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. इससे अगर तुम्हें ये सब चीजें पता चल जाएगी ना, तुम्हारा दिमाग खुल जाएगा रिगार्डिंग ऑल दिस इजराइल एंड हमास वट एवर इज हैपनिंग. ठीक है, तो तुम्हें यू गाइज हैव टू गो अभी, जस्ट फिनिश दिस वीडियो एंड read about all these 3 points. Very important. ठीक है. Next is the geopolitical dynamics, and lastly is the role of India. Over the past weeks, India has expressed itself in statements, joint statements, and votes at the United Nations on the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict. That saw a temporary pause for the exchange of hostages, which began on Friday, November 24th. Prime Minister Narendra Modi hosted two separate virtual summits at the concluding session of India's G20 and the second edition of the Voice of Global South Summit, and spoke about the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict, as well as the importance of heeding the concerns of the developing world. External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar traveled to the UK for talks held along the Defense Minister Rajnath Singh 2+2 dialogues with their counterparts from the US and Australia, where joint statements reflected the West's position much more. India has been embracing Israel in the Israel-Hamas conflict, though condemning the killing of innocent. Basically, what they're doing is, again, take a balanced role. Like India, India's foreign policy has always been ना इधर ना उधर. ठीक है, this is the foreign policy of India, and this is the same foreign policy which you have to follow in SSB. ठीक है, ना इधर ना उधर. फैक्ट्स बोलो, बोलो कि हाँ ये है, ये सही है, ये गलत है. ठीक है, ये करो, ये नहीं करो. ठीक है. So that is what India has also been doing. It has been embracing Israel because Israel has and India have, you know, decades of ties. They can't just say, okay, तुम गलत कर रहे हो, तुम जाओ बाहर में. And that's not possible. ठीक है. But at the same time, they condemned Israel's actions and Hamas's actions on killing of innocents. And in this war, as you can see, innocents are the only one that are being killed. ठीक है. Iran and Israel, both nations are important to India on various factors like defense purchases and oil imports. The art of balancing and non-alignment has been India's strategy since independence. Again, the art of balancing and non-alignment. Non-alignment was the word I was, forgetting. So that is what you have to remember. Be non-aligned. Like India is, trying to balance between Israel and Iran because both are very important for their defense purchases and oil imports. Okay, so that is the.
So that's it from today's video, and please follow us on every social media platform for more such good content. And Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.